Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I have another instrument cluster, this time in a 2009 Land Rover LR3. This is a local customer. His name is Blake. That's all I have as far as him. Um, just put the mark of his name on the back, and he has like a number 3. I don't know if you guys will be able to see that or not. Hopefully on the reflection you see a number 3 right there, and this is the part number on his cluster. These are very common. I have a lot of a very success rate repairing them. I see a little bit of a spillage inside, which I don't like because that means the cluster has been open. We can see, hopefully, again, the camera can pick that up. Maybe it's like a black, something is being covered in there or a splash. For the rest, at least this button is working good. I don't see any problems on the needles. The pin on the front is good, so that is actually a good sign because this is very important to keep the actual gauges or the rings around the gauges on a proper position. All right, yeah, we have a um, tape in here, probably a light that is being bothering him. All right, so let me plug it in and see how this works. All right, so for this, I have made now finally, I think I used it on the last video as well too, but the connector. So pretty easy to do now. Do it one hand. All right, so I got power and everything ready to go. Let's power up. Oh, okay. This is not powering up. This is not a good, not a good sign. I mean, I don't know until I open, but yeah, this is definitely a problem. So let me turn this one off. I have actually another instrument cluster here from another customer. So let me plug that one in so we can see that in this connection and everything is working good, and the problem is actually here. It's gonna be a little hard to do this. No, I do it. All right, let's keep Blake here. We can see his name in there. Let me get the other cluster in here. Let me connect this here. All right, so let's power up again, Blake, the other, and that's what we should be seeing. So yeah, this is definitely a not powering up at all cluster. So as you can see, my connections and everything is working 100%. So let me open it up and see what we see. All right, guys, analyzing the board, it is definitely noticeable that somebody has been here. I can see solder joints that were not done properly, and also around the motors, which I'm not exactly sure what they were doing now because these motors have like almost no failure. The most things that I have noticed on these boards are definitely the microprocessor and another IC, which is very close to it. And then crack solders, joints, I mean, capacitors, the normal thing. And then, all these resistors are almost fall out. And this is due to vibration. And I always solder everything. But I don't see, realistically nothing that I can blame the repair or what they did for what the problem is. I'm definitely missing one of the power rails. I noticed a break, and this is very common also on here, especially depending on who works on it. Like flexing the board, it can crack some of the pads, and this is a multi-layer board. So I'm going to resolder everything, and I'm going to retest. I have to, again, this is a time-consuming repair because there's a lot of soldering, replacing capacitors. The solder of the microprocessor is the one that's very hard, and the reason why is that, let me just show you here. In this microprocessor for this instrument cluster, Land Rover tried to put this kind of like a clear epoxy that is a resin. It can be either epoxy or resin that is very hard to remove, and this is why also a lot of people also end up damaging these boards because they tried to perform the repair and they just cook the microprocessor. So please, again, leave this to the one that we have already done it. I have 100% success rate repairing this instrument cluster. Not one customer has come back and said, it's still doing the same. No, so I actually narrow it down to a perfection and everything is working well. And I expect the same results with Blake. I don't see anything that I cannot repair. I hope that when I correct the issues that he has, because I'm definitely missing a voltage rail, but I can create a jumper, which is, again, the only solution when sometimes you have something like that. And that is a proper repair, as long as you secure the wire that you're putting with either silicone or board cement and then let it cure, and it's good. I mean, that's all this is. It's a jumper. I mean, a path to communicate a point B to point A. That's it, right? So, yeah, let me follow the repairs again, resolder all this, and we go from there. All right, guys, I finished it with the repairs. I'm now going to try to set the needles. What I usually do too is I take a picture of the position of the needles, and then I try to put it very close to where they are, and then perform the calibration with the scanner, which I have ready to go. Let's power this up, and as you can see, everything is looking good now because we do have a working cluster. Now the thing that I need to do is reset the needles because I don't think they're in the correct position, to be honest. Let me just repower up. Okay, yeah, that's sometimes they try to stick. Let me just make sure I'm not setting, the needles too far. No, they're good. Make sure that this is good. So what I usually do is just move the needles to an incorrect position because all these are, electronic needles. And then I let it power up to see if they come back to where they're supposed to. You have to redo it sometimes a couple of times. And we can see this one, the one for the temperature is not doing it. Let me redo that. Sometimes this one, especially that one, is a little tricky. Cause yeah, that is normal operation now. So, but yeah, it is working good, and you can go past, and that's what happens. If you go past, you have to come back. But yeah, they look okay. All the lights are good, and we can see the TPMS light is covered. That's the light that we saw on the other cluster that is there. You can see the mileage. This is Blake's mileage, 179, 228 at least the last recorded. In this one, we cannot do auto scan. Obviously, we don't have the complete vehicle connected, so we're gonna have to go to European vehicles. Let's look for Land Rover. Again, I'm using the Phoenix Max from top down. Very happy with this tool. A lot of people are asking me, how is that with heavy duty? I don't work in heavy duty, so I cannot give you that answer. All right, we're going to do a manual selection. It's going to be Discovery, and we're going to use Discovery, I think it was Discovery 3. And then you can really select either one in here, but we're going to use normal aspirated B6. Those are the most common. We can use also normally aspirated B8 for the cluster. Remember, for the cluster, are you sure you want to answer? No. So let me just make sure we select. So because I stopped that. Again, you can select either one here on the bench. In the car, you're going to have Auto ID 2009, not a problem at all. All right, and here we're going to go over to instrument cluster. Let me see if I find it right here. We're going to enter and we're going to do actuation tests. I have done multiple of this. I think that speedometer is the one, or the tachometer that gives weird number. And it's set to be 50%. It gives like a weird reading. But let's start with the tachometer. So we're going to try to go 50%. Yeah, you see how it's 38.25. I don't know why. So it goes to 51%, and that's what I wanted to go. So we're going to start, and we got pretty much 51%. So it's not in the four, it's there. So that is looking good. So we can go less. I like to reset it to 0 and then exit. Engine temperature, we're going to go, and this one does exactly 50%. So this is what I want to do because right now, since nothing is connected, it's reading like overheating, and this is normal reading. Remember, nothing connected is like this is a thermistor, so it will read up, right? So if we start this, that should go to half of the needle and is exactly in half of the needle. So that is another one that is good. We can, again, I like to bring it down to 0. In this case, it will go down to 0 and then exit. That's it. Okay, that's fine. Fuel gauge position, we're going to look for fuel gauge 50%. This is the one that might need to be adjusted. Let's see. And we will know because it will go into half a tank exactly. Sorry, I'm not showing that. Sometimes I talk and I think the camera follow my voice. All right, so let's see half a tank and we can see that that is indeed off. So let me exit here. Let me stop 1 second and relocate the needle. I think I got it ready to 50%. And as you can see, now it's in 50. So let's go back to 0. All right. And that is the 0, which is also, reserved. So let's exit and do it again. When it's in there, it should blink, and that is normal. So let's do fuel gauge position 50% one more time to make sure it's indeed properly adjusted. And that is right in the money. Okay, so that is good. We can exit this one. And then the last one will be the speedometer. Let's do 50%, which should be around, well, around the middle, right? Let me see. It should be pointing exactly at 12 o'clock. And I think it's a little off. It's a little off because this is exactly 50%. All right, so let me relocate this one. All right, got it now at 50%, and that is pretty much right in the money. So let's exit. Make sure it goes down to 0, which is perfectly right there. So now all the needles are perfectly adjusted. So Blake, now your instrument cluster successfully repaired, is ready to go back to your vehicle working. This was a, a very different experience. I have not seen this problem on this board. Not sure if it was because somebody was working on it or age, but again, this is the first one that I encountered this issue, and as you can see, I can repair anything as long as it's not a microprocessor. I pretty much think that I can repair it, not a problem. All right, guys, thank you so much for visiting the channel. Blake, thank you so much for taking my business in your consideration, and I hope that you enjoy your car and your instrument cluster for a very long time. Thank you so much. Everybody, don't forget to subscribe. See you next time. Bye bye.